boy. Mhm. Oh boy. That is what you get for Mickey, the Story of the Mouse intro. And I can't really do anything else. I could try Donald Duck or Goofy. Yup. Donald, what you doing there? That's awful. And then Donald Duck. I'm sick right now. So you're going to get the. God, I suck at life. Oh boy. Pluto, what you doing? God, I suck. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing a documentary on Disney Plus called Mickey, the Story of a Mouse. I mean, of course it's going to be on Disney Plus. Come on now. But what is this about? This kind of follows the life of Disney, Walt Disney, and these artists trying to, I want to say recreate, but kind of just celebrate the art of Mickey Mouse and what Disney has done for the world. And it does go into like the 30s to today of what Disney, the parks, what it was, the corporation, how some of these punk rock bands in the 70s took it as like a, I'm going to call it inspiration, but kind of like, oh, I'm Mickey Mouse now. What are you going to do about it? And talk about corporate greed and everything like that. So it goes really deep into the roots of what has this company gone through. And it's actually pretty interesting. So with that, let's go with the positives of the film. Like I said, it's an hour and a half of stuff that you just don't think this is going to go into. This goes, like I said, from the intro, 30s, 40s, 50s, about Walt Disney, what has he done? What did he do to get to where he is today? Or no, not today because he has passed away, but like his first cartoon of the Steamboat Mickey. How did he get there? Who backstabbed him in the beginning to get there? And then when World War II happened, what did he do to do that? He helped the U.S. military and the government, like you could say, propaganda videos to help with the war bonds and everything like that. So you go into that route. Then you kind of go into the 50s and 60s where it talks about the different parks and what he wanted to do. In the 70s and 80s of talking about, like I said, the punk rock bands and everyone like defined Mickey Mouse. It's also about Andy Warhol, how he said Mickey Mouse was like his best, art that he liked to do. And also when it went to the 80s and 90s, talked about how Disney was kind of in a rut because anyone that put like a Disney on the wall, they would sue like a daycare center, sue someone else and say, no, that's our property. You don't touch it. So instead of going to like, Mickey Mouse being a complete, happy-go-lucky mouse that you go to the park or the TV, now it's a corporation symbol of like, oh, you see those big ears? He will sue you. He will sue you. So going into deep dive of that, I found that really interesting. And when I'm talking about this, more stuff is coming up about this documentary that makes me think, oh, wow. And I think one of the saddest ones where I almost cried, I want to say it was during World War II. And they were in Poland. There was actually art books of like people drawing Mickey Mouse. And, United States was Mickey Mouse. And Mickey Mouse meant freedom. So they wanted to be with Mickey Mouse. And I was like, damn, hits hard. This hits so hard. And I think people don't realize, like I said, think about what happened in World War II and all this time. You don't know how good you had it. And then when you look at Mickey Mouse, and that's how, Donald Duck and Goofy was created. Because Mickey Mouse was doing all the crazy stuff, shooting guns, doing stuff like that. But then they wanted Mickey Mouse to be wholesome and nice. So that's why they bring Donald Duck and Goofy to be the goofy part, goofy ha ha ha. And Donald Duck to be like, the bad guy of the group, which Donald Duck is the best character in my opinion. Then, like I said, the 50s, how Mickey Mouse's cartoon was more relaxing. He's suburbs. And why not? Because we're done with a war. And we just want to be in the suburbs and relax in the 50s. But like I said, now we are today with all the parks. And Disney, I won't lie, has gone a little bit downhill. Just my personal opinion. They're doing too much with Star Wars. They're doing too much with Marvel. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. And like I said, their cartoons aren't doing the best in theaters. Lightyear, even though that's Pixar. Strange Worlds, awful. But there is that. I'm just talking about the movie as a whole. So this, how it's about Mickey Mouse. Yes, it's about creating Mickey Mouse and what happiness Mickey Mouse has brought to the world. But it also is basically a history lesson of where Walt Disney, Disney World, Disneyland, and the Disney Corporation has been today. And of course, there always has to be one negative Nancy in this documentary to talk about, oh, in 1930s, they did some nasty cartoons. It's like, are they really that nasty? Like, if you're really going to talk about, oh, Mickey Mouse was doing nasty stuff in the 30s, let's just bring up like WAP and just read that and go, oh yeah, that's totally bringing, you know, there was a comedian about how bringing that and like maybe it's cold outside and reading it, how one's canceled, one's propping up. It's like, where are we at in the world today? And like I said, yes, some things in the 30s, 20s, before that, 40s wasn't the greatest, but you know what? You've never experienced it because you weren't alive to experience it. And that's all I'm going to say. Worry about the stuff you can, fix today. The past is the past. So overall, Mickey, The Story of a Mouse is a great documentary if you want to know the history of Disney and the ups and downs of the corporation. It does make you go, wow. I mean, Walt Disney, though, he is one of those people who had a vision, who had the courage, who had the guts, that had just the audacity to say, you know what, I'm doing this and no one is stopping me. And to have that just motivation, you got to be born with it. And man, sometimes I wish I wasn't stuck in the mud and it could have done something more important. So, Mickey, The Story of a Mouse will receive a 4.5 out of 5 Futons, which goes at 90%. So let's see the correct news scores. Gave this one! Just know every time I start singing, it means I'm holding in a burp. So anyway, we have the critics at 89% with 18 of them. Audience score 79% with fewer than 50. No critic consensus. So there you go. So yeah, after watching this documentary, I put on a bunch of cartoons from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, those 10-minute ones with Donald Duck, Goofy, Mickey Mouse doing the whole ghost house thing. And I just like, why does it feel like that innocence is gone today? Because we are pushing so much stuff where it's just like, why can't you just watch the screen and enjoy something? But now it feels like every time you watch that lens, it's forcing propaganda back at you. And let's just stop that. Let's stop that. 90, 89, 79. Chase out with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think is Blue Futontopia. You Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching. Having a great day. And yes, my sickness is still here, but it is getting a lot better. See you on the other side.